Alright guys, for today's video, we are going over the community's top characters that are underrated, underappreciated, underutilized, underrepresented, and all of the other words you could think of in Dragon Ball Legends today. As of the 5th year anniversary, part 3 is about to start. It's not really a part 3, it's just what we call it. But anyway, it's the last character about to release tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, guys, we are going to go over the community's responses to my question for this. And also, I want every single person watching this video to join the discussion down below. Post your characters, 1 through 5, as many as 5 anyway, that you think are under that category. A character that's underappreciated, that you wish you saw more, etc. A character you wish that more people came around on when they released, etc. So before we jump in, we do have a quick word from today's video sponsors, and then we're going to get right to it, guys. If you're tired of your slow, played out, and outdated browsers, look no further than the hottest new web browser around, Opera GX. If you enjoy anime and gaming and the alike, Opera GX is for you. Opera GX is the most innovative browser around with the most customization options you'll ever see. Let me show you a little bit of what I mean. First up are the mods, and boy oh boy does the Opera GX store have tons of them. And once you found a mod that you love, you can go over to the left sidebar, click on the mods button, and that'll take you to this page. And here you can make a ton of changes to the mod that you have installed, or if you want to, you can quickly disable or otherwise re-enable the mod that you have. So this browser is jam-packed with a ton of different options. Let's go ahead and show you guys some of what we have. We have background music. You guys can hear it now. So if you don't like it, you can turn it off. That's up to you as well. I had keyboard sounds off. Let me go ahead and re-enable it so you guys know what that is. Whenever you decide to type anything in the search bar, this is what happens with that option on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back off for my own preferences. We have the amazing wallpaper. You can turn that on or off. You also have the theme for the colors you can enable or disable. And browser sounds. This is something that happens whenever you open up a new tab. This is what happens. It does play that sound. If you don't like that one either, guess what? Up to you. You can turn it off and it won't do it again. Amazing. This is an amazing browser with so many customization options, and we're just getting started. And if you're looking to take your browser game to the next level, we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to enable your own custom wallpaper. So go over here to the easy setup, make sure the use custom wallpaper option is on, click get more wallpapers, and that's going to take you to the Opera GX add-ons page. I'm going to go ahead and add in a new Genshin Impact one. This one that we're setting up is the Hu Tao sitting one, and take a look, guys, at that gorgeous animated wallpaper. And if you're looking to stay up to date with all your favorite anime series and take your multitasking to the next level, this video pop-out tool is for you. I wanted to show it on Crunchyroll, but unfortunately the video recorder is causing issues and I can't technically show you it, but trust me, take my word, this tool does work for you. So we're using my video on YouTube as a test case in which you can click this button here in the top center that'll actually pop out whatever video you are playing and put it in picture-in-picture, allowing you to multitask and get any work you need done. And this is an amazing tool for everybody, so be sure to use this on whatever site you are viewing videos on. Another amazing feature of the Opera GX sidebar is having all of your favorite social media sites here. I personally only really use Twitter, but if I wanted to access it, I can click on the little icon for Twitter, come here, respond, and interact normally without having to actually visit the website. So that is a huge benefit for me. Alright, by now I've explained a ton of amazing features of Opera GX, and there are still so many more for you to get your hands on. So since I know you're ready to take the plunge and get started today, I'm going to show you how to import your browser history from your current old shabby browser into the new and improved Opera GX. So to get started, click on the gear icon here in the bottom left corner. That's going to take you over to the settings, and once you are here, you're looking for the synchronization option. Now that we've found it, we're going to click on the import bookmarks and settings, and that's going to allow you to select your browser and what you're going to import. So once you do this, you'll be fully locked and loaded and ready to get started. So again, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and huge shout out to today's video sponsors, Opera GX. Be sure to click on the link down below in the description to get started today. Alright, so thank you guys for sitting through that. I really appreciate it. It does help the channel tremendously. So we have a ton of characters in Dragon Ball Legends now. I mean, there are so many. I forget the answer, but somebody answered that in a comment that I had a few days ago. I asked you guys, and somebody actually answered it. But anyway, there is a massive list of characters. And here's the deal. dang, man, most of these characters aren't very good today. Like 95% of these characters, maybe more, like 97% of the characters are characters you can't really use today and have a lot of success in PvP. Now, I threw that disclaimer out there because PvE content is different. When you're playing against the actual non-PvE stuff, or PvP stuff, excuse me, there's going to be criteria where you're going to use a lot of these characters. You're going to need a lot of them for the space-time rush because you need a big roster for that, especially on the higher difficulties, or you're going to be versus some content that are going to give some of these characters boosts, or you're going to be versus other content we're going to need to pull from a specific pool of characters. Like, there's a lot of criteria, so you can use your roster there. And since you're not versus another player, you're generally just versus, obviously, if you're not playing PvP, the computer, you can make use of characters that aren't otherwise great in PvP anymore. So that is the beauty of these characters and how they eventually age if you care about that half of the game. So let's see what you guys had to, before we get over to what you guys had to say for this, I have my own. Now, I want to show you guys something. So here's the first character on my list, 17 here. So this is interesting because the reason I threw all those words, the underappreciated, underutilized, etc. The thing is, when it comes to characters in this game, they have a cycle. And you have to understand, too, this is a gacha game before all else. And that means that not all of these characters are designed to last forever. Some characters get a second or third win based on other characters releasing on their teams that make them better or provide them support, etc. Or they'll get an equipment, or they'll get Zenkai Awakening. They get extra revitalization from that. But at the end of the day, their end goal is not to last forever. No character released in this game will have that lifespan because that's just not what the end game of the goal is. Or the goal of the game is, right? It's a gacha game. They want to keep things flush and cycling, etc. So with that context, characters also get kind of power creeped out pretty often of PvP and stuff like that. So you have situations where you have a good character like 17 who is like power crept, but not like crazy power crept. He came out, around the end of last year for Legends Festival, right? Actually, might have been on Legends Festival, which is about the limit I'd say a character can be about as old as about Legends Festival last year and still be usable, unless you're like Beast Gohan and a couple of other stragglers. But who came out just before that. But what happens is, when you get to some of these characters, it's not so much that they individually are power crept to heavy degrees where they can't be used. You run into issues with the full team, right? Because the GT team is like starving. they are starving. Dude, this always happens to GT. Okay, I don't want to say no other team, but GT seems to get this treatment the most, man, where they always just end up starving for characters. And so their characters that are good here are all 6 months old. You see what I'm saying? Like, I had somebody comment on a video I did yesterday, and I'm going to finally get into my list at this point, that I did a video and I showcased like Mono Yellow, and it was the Ultra Fusion team. And I said the Universe Survival team I was versus was better than mine, which sounds blasphemous to say because I had 3 Ultra Fusion Warrior characters on my team, and their team was Kiawe, Jiren, and the tag Goku and Frieza. And they were like, Jiren or Vegito is still pretty good and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but like Jiren's better. You see what I'm saying? Like, and Jiren's not an Ultra. And why is Jiren better? Because Jiren was made to exist in today's climate, while Vegito was made to exist in a meta that didn't even have Beast Gohan yet. So, like, that's an example of insane power creep. A character that literally came out a year ago, probably to the day, is at that point where it's like a regular Sparking is just better. And he's not the only character that's like yellow that's better than him either. Like the tag Gammas that just came out are better than Vegito. There's a number of characters better than Vegito. But that's just how the power creep is in this game. So 17 is first on my list. I kind of explained why. I don't think he's been power crept too heavily, but I do think that if GT was more usable, I think you'd see him a lot more. Androids is usable. The Androids is actually really solid right now. I think Androids is low-key one of the best teams in the game. Look at some of these look at the top row characters here. Magenta, really good. Gammas, really good. We're ignoring 13. Second form Cell, really good. Android 17 here, also really good. They have a really good team, and they have a solid option for every color, basically. Purple's probably the least impressive one, which is Android 17's, but they have a really good team. So, yeah, Androids are pretty solid, man. But, yeah, GT is just starving. But he has a lot of stuff you like in a character. All right, let's move on to the next one on the list. Evolution Vegeta. Evolution Vegeta is a character I think that, I don't know that he fell off. I just think that he never really got his time the way that you would like him to. Because his Zenkai, I thought, was really well done. I think they gave him most of what he needed in his kit. and they just designed him perfectly well. It just was a case of like lack of opportunity, and that doesn't mean he's bad or anything like that, but I think that again, underappreciated, right? Because this guy can string together some long combos, can do some really good stuff. He has cover nullification, etc. So he's awesome. Beerus. Now Beerus is probably power crept out, but Beerus is a character on my list because again, a character that never really got a chance much. If he came out today with most of what he did, but just like better stats and a couple other power creep things that have happened since his release, I think Beerus would be really solid. He would have heavy competition on Universe Survival because blue on Universe Survival is kind of a weird color because for one, Frieza exists. So like anytime you bring the tag in, you have a blue, right? And then also 17 is really, really good too. So he would have some good competition, but I think Beerus being the only character in the game that has endurance nullification and revive nullification is just insane. So like Beerus is made to be a god of destruction, and they did an awesome job with that. And more, not so much the endurance one, but the revive nullification. It's just unfortunate that he doesn't get much use. He didn't get much use when he came out, etc. He could catch you off guard. He could do some really long stringing combos, but unfortunate that he never got the shine that he deserved. Also, like, I didn't really talk much about this because I've talked about it in other videos and I wanted to kind of move on. But power creep in this game is two-folded. It's the freaking boost system, dude. Like, I bring it up all the time, and it's like, okay, well, why is, like I said in an example earlier, why is Jiren better than Vegito? For one, he's more modern. Power creep is crazy. But then you have a character getting 20% more stats for like 3 or 4 months. So they always look better than they are, right? And so Beerus, I remember when he came out, he would shred you to pieces. I venture to say he probably could do that every now and again, but he's not going to do it very often nowadays. Power creep. Speaking of power creep, last year's Part 2 anniversary character, Tapion. I thought that this guy, I think he got a fair shake for the most part. I think he lasted for a really long time. But I don't, I bring him up from time to time too. My opinions on Tapion are that he shouldn't be power crept out of the game. He's probably one of my favorite designed characters in the game. He really does everything you would need a character like him to do. But he's just power crept out simply due to the product of the way that the game handles releasing more strong characters. And what really ruined the power creep in this game is it's multiple things like boost system, blah, blah, blah. But it's Beast Gohan and then also having to usurp Beast Gohan with Ultras. That's what ruined it. Because all of a sudden, the power scale goes from characters like, oh, Tapion's really, 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 really good, to like, god damn, these characters suck compared to Beast Gohan, you know? But the support he has, the Hirudegarn mechanic, the nullification on the green card, it's just all over the place, and he's pretty awesome. So Tapion, last one on my list. I have 3 yellow characters here. Yellow is also a stacked color, by the way, with characters like Ultras and Jiren and blah, blah, blah. This guy will rip you to pieces. Do not sleep on this guy. His Zenkai was really good. It's, again, another GT thing where, like, GT just sucks. But they don't suck because they have some solid characters. But they're outdated as crap, and their power crept is crap, so they struggle to compete against the best teams. And if you're a GT Coper, I'm sorry, it's just a reality. I don't mean it as a criticism of your favorite team. It's just the way that the game is designed, and you should understand that. But this guy will rip you to pieces, man. Especially if he gets you like in a last man standing role, stuff like that. This guy is awesome. So, which is funny to say because he was terrible on release. He was DOA basically. All right, maybe not that bad, but pretty close. So rapid fire, we are going to go through some of the responses you guys have. The Blue Goku and Vegeta unit is still a lot of fun to play. Even though I only have them 3 stars, I also still love Yellow Tapion on movies. So he's talking about the Super Saiyan Blue tag Goku and Vegeta. I'm sorry, bro. They suck. They suck, Doc. They suck so bad. I'm sorry, Doc. They suck. I'm sure they're fun, though. That's different. They are not good. Those guys, you know when I really realized that power creep was terrible in this game? Was when they released and they got knocked off of boost. I'll never forget. Boost system ruined this game so bad. Because when they fell off boost, they were damn near unusable, dude. It was like 3 months later, and they were already unusable. I'll never forget. Oh my god, they dominated the game for all of like a month. But other characters have had similar situations, but like, it wasn't a product of them like falling off boost and not really being as good as they were. It was a product of some other characters coming out, like Cooler. Cooler was insane, but then like Beast pops up like a month later? Not even a month later, right? So, just, yeah, but they're not. But I like Tapion, though. Just because they're your favorites doesn't mean they're good. Oh, man. They aren't underrated. Definitely shitty compared to most units, but they're fun. I'm using Green Kaioken for fun and get destroyed. Yeah. My channel, I love using characters I like. But yeah, they're not. They are really bad. They definitely need some help. Zenkai 7 Evolution Vegeta. I brought him up. The Tag Force. They were actually going to be my honorable mention, but I was like, man, I got too many GT characters on here. That's why I just made it a point to talk about how the GT team sucks now, but they don't suck, but they do. Green Trunks, another character. He came out like, what? April of last year? Something like that. He was a character that should have lasted, but instantly fell off. The LF Trunks. Super Vegito and Z7 Super Baby 2. I assume he means Ultra Super Vegito. I mean, it doesn't matter which one he means, I guess, as long as it's LF or Ultra, I guess. The criteria can hit either. Anyone else, like Yellow Super Vegito, I'm not really having it. Zenkai 7 Baby, okay, I can respect that one. I thought, if I recall correctly, he had a lot of competition on his team. He struggled to make core on his team, right? No, it doesn't really look like it. I don't really remember what they were doing with this team at the time. It's been a little bit. Who was GT running as their blue? Was it him? It might have been him. I don't really like, Baby was a character everyone was scared of getting a Zenkai, but then they like totally did almost nothing to him, and so it wasn't scary. And also, I think people didn't understand the climate of the game is very different. For example, I've said like a year ago, I'm not worried about instant transmission Goku getting a Zenkai anymore, because they're gonna, for one, they're gonna find a way to gimp him. Like, Zenkais are not the best characters in the game anymore. It's not close. They're gonna find a way to gimp him, and they're not gonna do much to him. And the last but not least, who cares? There's other like auto win mechanics in the game now, so whatever. Like, the climate is far different. All right, let's move on. These Zenkai and LF units, so LF, okay, I assume that's what he meant, are balanced and have great utility. Each of them are alright at taking damage and can all support or give damage. They came out where they were very hype, but also not too broken. Some of the teams they were on have been either unusable or have replacements. I even thought of Broly movie Zenkai 7 Yellow Super Saiyan Goku because of sub count and death buffs. That guy is one of my favorite characters in the whole game. That Yellow Super Saiyan Goku from the Broly second movie. Oh, I love that guy. They were great at the time. It could still work. Nice comment, man. Purple green shirt Trunks. That's the new Trunks that came out with Red Cell. Amazing blue card support and the key cost going down. Every card makes his combo forever, along with the green card giving him cover null and vanish. Also, blue card hits like a semi-truck, but it's kind of hard to run him with Kid Buu and the Gamma's running. I was going to say, it's going to be real hard to use him. Agreed, use him as a primary option for the last season, and he did very well. Also, the debuff null on green card is nice addition with the card draw speed. Okay. I don't have him. He's one of the only characters I don't have, because I completely skipped that banner, and I don't have Cell either. But anyway, the thing I hear about him a lot is that he can't take a hit, and I don't see him. So maybe he fits this criteria perfectly. I can't really judge how good he is because I don't see him, and I never used him. I literally don't see him anywhere. He's a character I see once every season, maybe. You know. Every revival character easily, specifically revival UI. When you pop that main, okay, let's not say every. I get what he's trying to say, but I'm not gonna have it for some of them. Like Green Gohan, I'm not gonna have it, bro. I ain't having it. I know what you mean, but I ain't having it. When you pop that main and get the type neutrality and hand refill, he feels really good to play, and it only gets better when he becomes UI. Yeah, I really like that Super Saiyan Blue Goku revival when he pops his main and he gets that like crazy combo ability right there. I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite ones because most of them suck pre-revive. The revive mechanic itself is still absolutely busted, and it feels good knowing you're playing with 4 characters. Other than that, I actually think Red 21 is extremely underrated. We no longer are in a period where Beast Gohan is absolutely dominating the entire meta, and with numerous top-tier yellow units, there's room for her to shine, especially with the Gamma's release. She does a lot of damage with strike ceiling, tons of debuff, gains up to 3 Dragon Balls with blue card. She also has, funny enough, has anti-revival effect. Yeah, she has one of those when the enemy revive effects. There is a clear lack of crazy broken red units in the current meta, besides ultra hit, and I think that gives her room to shine. That's a nice comment, man. That's a nice comment. I've seen some people have, and this is a bit of a gross over assessment, but I've seen some people have Red 21 really high on their tier list as like one of the better characters to run. I don't have a graph on this site, but I'm pretty sure her stats are gimped being a free character for starters, so that's not a helpful thing. Also, being a free Zenkai means that she doesn't get the full stat bonus from the Zenkai of what 40 and 35% splits. But I think other than that, she actually kind of came out and got a Zenkai pretty shortly after, didn't she? all the stuff he said is pretty good. I remember her being a nuisance a little bit with that strike ceiling and stuff, and then the Dragon Balls. So what do you guys think of this character? Like I said, I've seen her rated pretty highly on some people's tier lists, and I think a lot of what he said is pretty valid. And in terms of the revival, it annoys the crap out of me how people don't give any credit to that effect. It's like, okay, Orange Piccolo, not the best character. Sure, I don't really mind that personally, but sure. But I think that when you're saying this character doesn't have this or that, I think you have to put like an extra 25% on what they're doing. That's just a random number. But like you have to have the revival mechanic itself actually factor into your analysis of characters. I think a lot of times people look at those revived characters and just analyze what they do pre and post, but not analyzing the actual fact they have a revive. The revive itself is partly a really crazy mechanic. It's one of the best mechanics in the entire game. So like that's why those characters, they have high potential, but they a lot of times don't really do a ton, things like that. And you've seen them play it really safe with some releases like Gohan, the green one, or like Super Saiyan Blue Goku, the original one, the blue element one, things like that. They play it real safe with some of those characters and stuff like that because the revival effect itself is insanely strong, and it's very different and way better than Endurance. It's just a very, very strong effect, and I think a lot of people just don't acknowledge it, which is why I said I think I understand what this person's trying to say. But like, you know, EX Tournament Power 18, her support is extremely valuable. She's yellow, right? And she can draw a new hand on her blue while also dishing out some great damage. Nice. I definitely don't have 5, but I think Year 4 Tapion, for whatever reason I was reading, like, expecting to read, like, Year 2 Pycon. I swear to God, that's what I read when I got a glimpse of this. I was going to be like, wait a minute! It's quite underrated still. You never see him used, but he still tanks well. His damage is great for his support, and his support is good as well. Yeah, Tapion is actually really good, but you're never going to see him. Never going to see him. And it's partly because now he has really good competition with the Gamma. They're on the same team. Like, there's no reason to use Tapion. But he's still really solid, I think. I'll amend what I said earlier. I guess maybe you can go as far back as like the anniversary to have like a usable character. But if you go that far back, it's really dodgy because some of those characters are not all that usable, right? It's really dodgy. Well, definitely can't forget at all how underrated the father-son Gallic-Gun are. Even though the Vegeta side is a bit more on the bad side than Trunks, the unit itself is still very usable and could still be effective when it needs to be in certain moments. The tanking is decent, and the disruption of Ki can also be annoying. Okay, so my assessment of them is they have no tanking. They don't take a hit well at all. But the Ki disruption is good. Underrated? I don't know. They may be the most. This isn't really a criticism. I don't think it's like not trying to be a hot take. They may be the most average character to release in a long time. That means they do some stuff well, but it also means they don't do anything really exceptionally well. You see what I'm saying? They may be maybe not because there's been a lot of characters. Man, I'm not saying of all time, but of recent. But they may be one of the most average characters released ever. I just said not ever, but recently. I'm just not impressed by most of anything they do. And the Vegeta side actually sucks. Like, the Vegeta side actually sucks. So, I don't know. Something about these Vegeta tags lately, man. Same thing kind of started happening with the tag blue guys, right? Well, not blue guys, the Boo guys. They kind of are like, wow. Yellow transforming Kaioken Goku, his stats and kit are solid, and he still holds up well. His biggest flaw is having a time transformation, but if you can manage it, I'm like, transforming Kaioken, who is he talking about? He's talking about Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken. I was thinking about the green one, and I'm just like, wait, that guy doesn't what's happening here? His stats are through the roof. His stats are through the roof, though, because he's a transforming character. If you look at all the transforming characters, especially if they have a Zenkai, their stats are through the roof because transforming. Anyway, I can't really recall some of his kit. It's been a while since I've used him, so I'll have to take your word for it. Although I know there's not much reason to use him. So, free-to-play Yellow Super 17 and Red GT Super Saiyan Goku. Both of those characters are two of the better free-to-play characters in the game, by the way. Both really good, especially that 17. He's really awesome. GT Goku had that one whopping heal, which was really strong too. But that 17, he could rip you to pieces, man. They didn't have like any time in the meta because Beast dropped and took over. But they have really good kits and are still good today if you don't have a top option in their color. Nice. Tag Trunks and Vegeta, oh, another one. Their kit is good. The key reduction when they hit at half is ridiculous. Yeah, so that's like the one thing that's like, okay, so I say they don't really do anything exceptional. The key reduction is the one thing they do exceptional. Like, they do other things, obviously, that are good, obviously. But, like, the one thing that really stands out is the key reduction. Like, if I were to point out, like, one thing on every character, like, that's their one thing. Like, one thing that you'll never forget. Example. Beast Gohan going insane with his gauge full. Example. MUI Goku from last year. The counters. It's the only thing I remember. Like, actually, well, if I think a little harder about it, another thing I remember is the stupid Clash auto wins. Such a dumb mechanic that they just made up for no reason. We could look at any character, and I can give you one thing. And if I look at this character, that's the first thing I remember. That's the one thing that stands out. TOP Roshi. Oh, another character I considered having on my initial list. I just was like, dude, I'm having too many yellows. So TOP Roshi is really unfortunate, dude. He's in a really unfortunate spot. And I knew he was right here because I was just looking at him before I started. He's in a really unfortunate spot because damn is he good. Damn does he have one of the best mechanics too in the game, being able to lock a character out. Crazy. But dude, why the hell would you use him? Setting aside the fact that Jiren exists, I mean, you could even extend out to why would you use him over another yellow in a leader slot. But like, Jiren is on his direct team, dude. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. This guy's really good. So yeah, definitely underrated. And he has some gimmicks to him though, like the way that his sealing works and stuff. But just being able to seal a character for that just because is a hell of a thing. His green immobilization is really good too. Yeah, that's right. Ultimate seal, green LF Trunks, good kit, double ultimate. Yeah, the second double ultimate character, always nice. His green is pretty good. Revival UI Goku. Gresh explains it in his new 10 list. Green Jiren is pretty underrated too. His good strike damage. From what I've seen, good defense. His green card is Green Jiren may be like the best non-LF Zenkai to release recently, off the top of my head. But and that's also because they didn't do a damn thing to him. Like they literally. I remember going through my video and they gave him plus 5% here, plus 5% here. I'm like, dude, what is this? Like, okay, so the first thing I said, maybe a little bit, because I can't remember too many non-LF Zenkais that are actually even usable. Green Jiren, I think, is solid. Last time I used him, he held up okay. Ultimate hits like a truck. Yeah, so he listed off some fun ones here. Revival UI is very under... Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Revival UIs. Let me just comment on that really quick. Revival UI is a really solid character. I talked about earlier how I like his pre-revival effect, where he gets that combo going on you, where his with his main ability and stuff. And post-revival UI is actually really strong, and for what, 40 counts he gets all these buffs and stuff. I really like it a lot. However, this guy, when he came out, it's tough to recall exactly what happened that pushed him out. Well, first and foremost, he had an insane competition here. Yeah, this is kind of what pushed him out. Rose existed. Gogeta is still in every damn match. Yeah, it's kind of stuff like that that kind of pushed him out. But then you look at Universe Survival. It's just 7. It was at this point, it was 17 UI and Master Roshi. That was a really good, solid team. Yeah, it's just, I feel like people were really lukewarm on him. But I liked him a lot. I remember doing my videos on him. I liked him a lot. And I do remember 17 was just better. So that didn't help too. But 17 was blue, but 17 had neutral, so it just didn't really matter. All right. No, I'm a bit late to the party, but I absolutely love green transforming Kid Trunks when he was on Hybrid specifically. Oh, that's a fun one way back in the day. He might have been my original. I'm doing a lot of like the original or like these types of comments. He might have been my original. Nope, take him back. Because the first time I used that Trunk, I was like, nope, take him back. I don't want him. He's too broken. The combo on the strikes is crazy where he gets all that draw speed crazy. Don't know why, but he's really good when I use him. And used, I guess they mean past tense. And it's surprising damage once he transforms. He wouldn't really meet my criteria for the general sense, but he would meet my extended criteria that I mentioned in the intro of like underrepresented and all these other things. Would go green, Zenkai 7, Future Gohan. Ooh, that's a good choice. He does ridiculous damage. I never lose a match playing with him. Then maybe Tournament of Power, Sparking Blue 18. I don't really know about her too much. She's kind of old, outdated. I don't really know about being underrated. Also, Zenkai Bardock, because those crits are sweet. Zenkai Bardock is okay, but Zenkai Bardock isn't really individually. It's more so his team, right? It's more so the allies he's giving that buff to. Gohan is a really fun one. I think he's really good, but again, Rose exists, and so it's like, why would I even use him? But I like that Gohan a lot, especially as green card lock, sub count stuff. All right, let's read a couple more and we're gonna wrap. All right. Personally, Tag Trunks and Vegeta are pretty underrated. They have a pretty good kit. The only issue is their teams just aren't that good right now. Yeah, their teams are whatever. God Key is pretty good, and Future isn't bad. Future is going to be super good in a minute. Okay. Hold on. My daughter's calling me. Yeah, she needs something, so we got to wrap soon. Green, Zenkai 7, Future Gohan. Already read that one. Personally, Trunks, already read that one. If you pull Red Cell because he's a staple, so you kind of need him. Red Cell is good on Future. I think Red 21 Zenkai, the blast damage is still very solid for free to play. She also is like one of the. Is she like the only new style free to play character that has a Zenkai? Since like Yellow Rose and Green Pod, is she like the only one that like has a Zenkai? Seriously, she got a Zenkai like none of the other ones did. There's a Green 18 too. Like she got a Zenkai, none of them did they? So that's part of why she's one that's getting brought up a bit here. But it's cool to see. Purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that gives support to blast and blue card damage. I use him with Ultra Rose and Future Gohan, and I think it makes them hit so hard. Is he talking about the Future Saga Vegeta? I assume he is, because Rose and Future Gohan. The one that removes Dragon Balls? Because it says support for blue card. Yeah, it's the one that does the Dragon Balls and defeated. That's like, this is like not Vegeta, really. It's just a byproduct of having him die on your team. And then having him use a couple blue cards makes their blue cards better. I get what he's saying. It's not, he's not doing anything himself. It's just him dying. Or like doing no damage on his blue card, making everyone else do more damage. So in the end, the thought process is, well, if you only land 3 to 4 blue cards in a game, for example, which if you use Rose, you'll probably land more potentially. How worth it is it to have Vegeta use 2 or 3 of those? I don't know. But if you have Rose, you can maybe double those numbers and it makes it worth it. Turn-up power Roshi, his seal is still super powerful. You're correct. Very useful if you want to seal Goku and Frieza so you can rush. That's a good idea. Yeah, good idea. In my opinion, Beerus, the one who nullifies Revival with his blue card. Yep, I already mentioned him. Purple Trunks and Red Cell from the All-Star banner are still very useful assets to the Future team. Another Red 21 shot out. Nice. On Androids is nutty. Basically anybody on GT before this. Anybody on GT. Nice. LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Green Revival. It's funny seeing. I'm going to conclude here because I got to go. It's interesting seeing the community have the same characters. Not exactly the same ones as me. Some of the ones I brought up. But it's like the same characters. Here's another Blue Beerus. It's the same characters. It's like Revival Goku. It's Red 21. It's a little bit of Cell and Trunks in here. It's the tag Trunks Vegeta. Here's another Red Cell. Like it's the same characters. I like it though. I think it's pretty interesting that we're all of one mind. At least here on my channel. Legends Limited Orange Piccolo. Interesting. Another Piccolo. 2 Piccolos in a row. I think partly because I asked this question 2 weeks ago when the topic was, is Piccolo gonna get buffed? But yeah, that's really cool. Red Bojack, definitely not. Purple and Red Janemba, definitely not. You need to stop tripping, bro. Tag 4s, oh, that's a fun one. They're just really power crowd, but they have some good stuff in their kit, like the Dragon Ball stuff, the sub count stuff. I recently did a video talking about how they're like one of the best characters for the Vegeta clan team. Shallot, okay. I mean, I don't know if he fits that criteria now. Red Buhan just melts every unit. Oh no, that's a lie. Red Buhan has everything but damage. Dude, I remember doing this. This is the last comment. I remember doing the showcase for Red Buhan, and I was like, God dang, this guy's so polarizing. Because if he could just do any damage, he would be good. It's like the forced card draws and all the stuff he's doing. This guy's so much, and it's like, but dude does literally negative damage. If he did any damage, he'd be good. And it's not even that he does negative damage. It's that his stats are low. They purposely gimped his stats big time for no reason. Oh man. All right, guys, so we've gone over in this video the most underrated, underappreciated, underutilized, underrepresented, all that stuff characters in Legends for my thoughts and the community's thoughts. So what are your thoughts? Again, remember to post them down below if you haven't already. And also check out Opera GX. I use it myself for most videos. I didn't for this one, but I do for most videos. So check it out. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.